just absurd.
Yeah, there's a ton of shaman spells that are very situational. But it turns out when you can keep getting that value train rolling, you're able to find spots for even the most situational of shaman cards. Maybe with the exception of Totemic Might.
And now we're going to get to see, I think, one of the matchups I at least was hoping for, but I think a lot of people were hoping for this matchup, was the new Battlecry Shutterwalk Shaman versus Control Cube Warlock.
Yeah.
It's the battle of the Titans.
That is. These are the two decks that players have been saying are the two decks to watch out for in the Witchwood. The two decks that, above all, with 24 hours of experience under everybody's belts, are saying that these are the two decks that are going to be the decks to beat.
Meta's already solved. All you need is Shaman and Warlock.
Yeah. Or at least those are two decks that you have to keep in mind when you're building a deck to play, at least at the higher ends of ranked play. And Savjz kind of pained to see this Manatide Totem come out, because the only way he has to deal with it is to use the coin with this Amethyst Spellstone, which delays his Possessed Lackey, which delays all of those powerful swing turns that Control Warlock loves.
And this is one of the beautiful nuances of the new meta, is what is Savjz more worried about? Is he more worried about the coin escalating his game plan later on in the game, or is he really worried about what RDU's game plan is? Because RDU's game plan right now is to draw his entire deck, get to Shutterwalk, and then try and finish Savjz off with the Shutterwalk combo that we saw previous. So Savjz recognizing that, saying, you know what, I think my game plan is good enough to delay it if I just make sure RDU does not draw these combo pieces.
Yeah. Or he just rips Gnome Feratu a few times.
Yeah, and that's the new...
and Shutterwalk goes bye-bye.
Yeah, Shutterwalk goes bye-bye. I really want to see that. I really want to see the Glenda Kroskin. Oh, the Baleful Banker.
Actually, that's not bad.
That makes it a whole lot harder. I mean, all RDU needs is one of them.
Yeah.
But it makes the combo a bit longer. And that's a new card. Witchwood Piper, I believe is its name. 4 mana 3/3, draw the lowest cost minion from your deck. And I've been playing around with that card, and that card is really good.
Yeah, it's basically just a draw a card, because a lot of times this Shutterwalk Shaman runs a lot of 2-drops, so basically summons one of your random 2-drops, like Burlock, Doomsayer, Fireplume Harbinger, Loot Hoarder, Murmuring Elemental, a lot of them.
And I think a lot of players have recognized that the one thing they want to do with this Battlecry Shutterwalk Shaman is just get to the combo as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in decks in the past. A lot of the decks that aim to try and finish the game in one powerful combo. I mean, another one that brings to my attention is the Worgen OTK. That was you can't do anymore, of course, because of the way they nerfed the cards. But I mean, that was one of those decks that just aimed to draw as quickly as possible, get to the combo, and then try and end the game there.
Yep.
Except for this one is much cooler.
It also takes a lot longer.
Which makes it so much cooler.
Yeah, because you get to watch it for longer.
You get to watch your opponent suffer as Shutterwalk hits the board and gets bounced back to the hand, and then hits the board again, and then gets bounced back to the hand.
A dramatic reenactment.
That's just so cool, TJ.
Well, there's another Gnome Feratu and another Baleful Banker. So Savjz can burn another card and put another Gnome Feratu in the deck to have another chance. All right, let's see what it's going to be.
So he's really thinking on this. I think Savjz definitely wants to try and assemble that combination of cards with Glenda Kroskin and Gnome Feratu to try and burn as many cards as possible with the Summoning Portal. And I think that's just so cool.
Yes, it is.
It might be cooler than Shutterwalk. What if Savjz gets a Shutterwalk? That would be powerful.
But how?
I don't know. I don't know how.
But it'd be cool.
But it would, could you imagine?
Especially how many Gnome Feratus he's played. He could burn the rest of RDU's deck.
I think he would burn so many cards that he would start burning cards from RDU's next match. that RDU would just queue up a game on ladder and be like, why did the top 10 cards in my deck get burned? And RDU just going to go ahead and commit the Loot Hoarder, trying to, like I was saying earlier, draw into that combo, commit the Life Drinker as well.
Yeah.
Curious to see if RDU had any thought in playing the Witchwood Piper, just to draw an extra card. I mean, maybe there was some reason RDU wanted to commit the Life Drinker that early. But I think the name of the game for RDU right now is drawing cards.
Yeah, trying to find the pieces of that combo, which he does have a few already. He's got the Grumble, Saturday Night Chain Gang. He's played Life Drinker already. And there's Shutterwalk. So he's got... Doesn't have to be too worried about Nosferatu anymore. There's still a few key cards that he can discard that would reduce the amount of battle cries that happen. But at least they're going to happen in some capacity.
That was one of the other cards he was probably worried about burning, was the Murmuring Elemental.
Yeah.
I believe that RDU plays 2 of them. So if one gets burned, there's still another one in the deck. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's much safer to know that you have access to both of them.
Yeah. In Savjz at this point, the name of the game's got to be pressure. He's got to start putting damage on RDU to put him on a clock. But even that's kind of difficult at this point because once RDU starts going off with the combo, it's really hard to defend against it because of the way Life Drinker works. Especially, you know, with multiple Shutterwalks after the Grumble battle cry's been played.
And with the absence of Doom Guard, Savjz really only has pressure in the form of these Void Lords and Void Walkers.
Yeah.
There's not much pressure outside of maybe like a little bit of extra damage from the Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's not much pressure at all. I mean, I think Savjz is really hoping that he can kind of get there with this damage on board.
Mm-hmm.
But RDU runs 2 copies of Healing Rain. And that's just more stall. I don't think Savjz might not be able to get through. And there's that combo. Well, not the full combo, but Dog was mentioning earlier, the premise of it was to get Summoning Portal on the board with Meatwagon, play Glenda Crowskin, or I'm sorry, not Glenda Crowskin, but just get the Summoning Portal on the board, and with Phantom Militia, you can summon your entire board, since it would cost 1 mana and it has Echo. You thought Void Lords were scary, TJ.
What about Phantom Militias?
What about Phantom Militias? Oh, Savjz gonna try and burn some cards from RDU, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to burn 1, I believe, because it's going to fill up the hand, and then there'll be 1 natural draw going into the following turn.
And there's that Summoning Portal. The one issue with that card is that it doesn't apply any pressure on RDU, and right now Savjz's game plan is pressure. Burning a Fire Plume. That was the only Fire Plume Harbinger. It's going to make it a little more awkward, I think. Maybe not. I think RDU's still fine. I don't think RDU needed access to that tool.
Well, yeah, it's usually to be able to get Grumble combos out a little bit easier because it reduces the cost of the elementals in your deck or like Murmuring Elemental combinations. But it's not super crucial. It just allows you to have extra access to those tools. The big thing is the Life Drinker being burned because that's going to force RDU to have more Grumbles to try and finish the game. And there is a chance that Savjz might be able to match that with Blooded Gul'dan. I have to say, I haven't had too many opportunities to watch or play this specific matchup when one or a couple of my pieces get burned, how the Shutterwalk math ends up working out.
Well, the Shutterwalk...
I honestly have no idea.
I was doing the math, doing the calculations in my head right now, TJ.
Okay.
And if my calculations are correct, I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Shutterwalk can just get there because what will happen is the Murmuring Elemental will come down, the Shutterwalk will come down beside it. It will, hopefully the board, RDU play the Doomsayers in order to clear the board so that this combo can happen. And what's going to happen is Murmuring Elemental is going to come down, Shutterwalk's going to follow, it'll cast the Battle Cries twice, which will guarantee that Grumble's effect will go off, bouncing another Shutterwalk to the hand. It will guarantee it because the Battle Cry will trigger twice.
Yeah.
And if it guarantees it, there's a Shutterwalk in the hand for 1 mana, and there also will bounce back the Murmuring Elemental. And it will be an infinite loop of that happening for 1 mana, and RDU can cast it up to 5 times in 1 turn. So even if Life Drinker, there's only 1 that was played, eventually RDU will just get there. It's absurd. It's bonkers, TJ. It's Shudderwalk. So I think Savjz understanding that, just trying to put as much pressure on the board after the Doomsayers go off. And I think RDU's already assembled enough, so he's just gonna go for it. This is gonna be the beauty of the
there it is. Let's see if Savjz is patient enough to let RDU completely play out these next 2 to 3 turns.
It might take a little bit, but it eventually will happen. I think maybe the only way is if Sandbinder draws enough cards that it would potentially burn both of the Shudderwalks, or I'm sorry, all 3 of the Shudderwalks when it gets grumbled.
Excuse me.
Burned 1 of them.
All 12 of the Shudderwalks?
And so although Savjz still has a turn to play Gul'dan, next turn, Murmuring Elemental Shudderwalk, Murmuring Elemental Shudderwalk.
That's all he can do. Until he summons more back into his hand once the other battle cards have
And
resolved.
Savjz just said, nope, I don't want any of this. And RDU is going to take game number 3.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, TJ.
And RDU just kind of shakes his head, thinking,